Morning, afternoon, evening people. So back in the kitchen, we're making hard cider again. This time, to do an experiment, we're going to use bread yeast. So a few weeks ago I did a cider video. I made blackberry cider with wild blackberries harvested locally, shot bought apple juice. In the comments of that video, a viewer said, can I do this with bread yeast? And to that, the answer is yes. However, there's some caveats. So first of all, making hard cider, I usually use champagne yeast or turbo yeast. Turbo yeast has an alcohol tolerance of 21%. Champagne yeast, I think, is 16 to 18%. I usually shoot for about 11 to 12% ABV for hard ciders. However, I guarantee this bread yeast will not have an alcohol tolerance up that high. I'm going to take a stab in the dark and say 6 or 7%, but we're going to find out. So to that end, I'm not going to add any sugar in this brew. We're just going to ferment the naturally occurring sugars in the apple juice and see what ABV we're coming at. So we'll take our hydrometer reading in a sec. I'm using two different apple juices. I'm going to mix those together in the Demijohn first, take a sample, get a hydrometer reading, and we'll get on with it. Okay, everything has been sterilised. Now just give your apple juice a shake before adding it. Like I say, I have made cider, hard cider with bread yeast before, but a long time ago, before I started doing YouTube. I don't remember what the result was. So we're going to do this together. Give it a shake. What we're doing there, oxygenating this a little bit prior to the fermentation. We also want to mix it together to get hydrometer reading. Okay, so hydrometer reading there is 1050. Now I have just brewed a ruby porter that started at 1050. That came in at 6%. So take a stab in the dark and say we'll be around the 6% mark, but we shall see. Okay, so 1050. Today is the 20th of December. So I'm going to add that back. This has all been sterilised, so this isn't an issue. Now the ruby porter that I just brewed, primary fermentation took 8 days to 6%. Generally, like a hard cider that's at 11 or 12%, I leave it about 4 weeks. So I'm not sure. What I'm going to do, I think, is I'll leave this about 2 weeks and pull it out. Take hydrometer reading. Can be generous with the yeast. Not so shake it, but just give it a swirl. Okay. In with our airlock. I'll add some water to that in a sec. Put that away now for about 2 weeks, I reckon. I'll bring it back. We'll see how far along the fermentation is. Okay, welcome back. So, 16 days has passed. It was Christmas, didn't have a chance to get out, take a hydrometer reading, so it's been 16 days. And I believe the fermentation is complete. I'll show you why now. Look at the airlock here, you can see that's almost level. There's not much pressure left inside the Demijohn. That's always a good combat indicator the fermentation is complete. However, we will confirm that now by taking a hydrometer reading. It's got a nice sample in the sampling tube now. Just give it a little spin. That gets any air bubbles off if you don't get a forced hydrometer reading. Okay, that was exactly at 1000. So it's fermented right down. So I'll go away and do the maths. Okay, so our starting specific gravity was 1050. We came in at 1000. My guess was 6% ABV. It's at 6.56% ABV. If you can see that. So I was close. So what I'm going to do now, I was going to rack this off, but I've decided to just go straight ahead and bottle it without racking. There's no real need to rack it unless I was going to leave it to clear a bit more, which I'm not. So we'll bottle this off and we'll give it a taste. Now this is all sterilised, so it does no harm to pour this back in, not waste it. Also the demijohn and the auto siphon and the bottles have been sterilised at the same time. When siphoning off, if you haven't racked, obviously be careful not to disturb sediment at the bottle, at the bottom. The best way to do that is just kind of put your siphon halfway down. There you go, that's enough to get it started. I don't know if we'll quite get 4 bottles from this, but we shall see. So when siphoning, if you haven't racked, when you get close to the bottom, it's best to just kind of hold your siphon just to keep it off the sediment at the bottom, just that last little bit, and then we'll leave the sediment behind. Okay, so I've actually ended up with 4.5 bottles there, which is quite a good yield, and this is what's left behind. I'll give you a close up. You can see all that sediment that we left behind. Now racking off will clear that. As I've just demonstrated there, you can bottle it up carefully, leave the sediment behind, and still get a nice clear cider. So a little bit later, pour a glass of that, we'll give it a taste, and I'll give you the verdict. Right, so let's crack a bottle. Smells like cider, doesn't smell very strong, but it's not, 6.5%. It's dry, very dry. Not the driest, but very dry. It just tastes like a nice dry cider. No bready yeast taste, anything like that. And for the sake of 4 litres of apple juice, 2 spoons of bread yeast, that's all that's in it. Can't go wrong. Maybe could back sweeten a little bit. Maybe half spoon of honey in each glass just to back sweeten it slightly, because it's very dry. But yeah, give it a go. So if you enjoyed that video, give it a big thumbs up. If you want to see more brewing videos, hit subscribe. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.